Just like we told you yesterday, coming into today, Bitcoin would be over $67,000. Key levels have been breached. Will we stay above that 66.5 level? And now that Bitcoin has ran and altcoins have been kind of flat, well, a majority of them, which altcoins are ready to run? I have identified one altcoin I think people are sleeping on. I'm going to tell you exactly why.
Litecoin.
No. We're going to talk a little bit about Casper. We have some Cardano news. We're going to talk a little bit about ETH. I feel like ETH has kind of slipped under the radar here a little bit. Is ETH about to go on a massive rally? ETFs continue to buy. Larry Fink continues to be the new Bitcoin mascot. What will the market hold over the next few days? We'll talk about that and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's go.
It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel. Take old, boring, stale information, repackage that whole thing up in a fun and sexy way. 68,000. 68,000.
Wow, you know, we were both right for once.
Really?
Very rarely are we both right. All three of us, Rocco included. Well, he was kind of right. He said 70. We're at 68. Close enough, you know? Close enough. But, Robin, we're over 68K. We'll take a look at where Bitcoin is at. 68 flat. Okay, 68 flat. From a psychological standpoint, right? All the people, do you believe that we've spent essentially 2 days over that 67K level? I know you mentioned 2 days yesterday. You want to see a little more price action or consolidation above this 66, 67 level? Or do you think this is this time it's different, bro? You know?
You know, I still under 70,000. And you know, if you look back, going back to February, I mean, we've been above 70K briefly. We've been around that 68,000 several times. It's been a while. We got away from 68, and well, you know, here we are again. But I don't know, man. I just feel like we need to get up to 70,000, and then from there, then I can have that exact same conversation when we get to 70,000. I think that I'm just waiting and see. Yeah, 2 days, feeling very comfortable. I'll say this: 58,000. I'm feeling extremely comfortable that we're not going back down there again. Right.
58?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but going into this week, I would have probably been kind of on the fence if we would go back under 60K, you know, one last time. You know, we were talking about it last week. I was like, you know what, this dip, I was like, I feel like we need one more big shakeout before we have that parabolic move to the upside. And so I was kind of on the fence. So, you know, hey, we're going to go down and get this mass liquidation, this big shakeout, this big freak off, you know? And so for me,
looks like you brought the lube too, you know, because
Yeah.
it's been a nice, easy, smooth ride to the top, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
You know-
But now I feel a lot more comfortable.
You do feel comfortable. It's the lube.
Yes.
Wow.
Mhm.
You know, it's interesting, the timing, right? I'm sitting there yesterday. We shared the little audio clip of Larry Fink's earnings call, right? That happened on Friday. What have we seen from Bitcoin's price action since Friday? Let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. And I'm not saying this is 100% correlated. I'm just saying it's interesting, right? This is the Friday candle, okay? Friday the 11th, this is the candle. 60,000, we're currently at 68. You think Larry Fink could single-handedly, what he says, what he does, what he recommends, could single-handedly take Bitcoin to $150,000, $200,000? You think this is coincidence, or well, what do you think this pump is? Right, we shared minor revenue was hit all-time lows and rebounded. That's positive. We know Bitcoin's price action has been positive. We know the sentiment has been changing. We take a look at this article I have here, just a headline: Bitcoin open interest hits record almost $20 billion, signaling bullish sentiment among investors. How much weight do you put into that?
Open interest or Larry Fink?
Larry Fink.
Very powerful person. And so I do think he does drive markets. Now, you said single-handedly take Bitcoin to $125,000, $150,000. No, no.
You don't think it's possible?
I mean, if he personally had a similar strategy to like Michael Saylor, where he was just putting all of his net worth outside of, liquid cash and assets, if he was just taking all of his spare capital and removing it from commodities, long-term investment, and just moving everything over to Bitcoin, I'm sure Larry Fink himself is a very, very wealthy person.
I would assume.
I even outside of what's on paper, if you were to say, hey, what is his net worth? I think that he probably has more capital hiding than anyone else, right? And so, if that was him, but BlackRock is a publicly traded company. They do have board members. So, for the company itself to get behind Bitcoin outside of just offering the ETF.
But they kind of have, though. So they announced this a few months ago that they have their own like BlackRock funds, right?
Yeah.
In their growth fund, they added Bitcoin to it.
Yeah, but the BlackRock fund also has like has like 30% of the S&P 500 companies is in the BlackRock fund. And so it's another
But you also get
another piece of the portfolio. I'm not trying to diminish it. I'm just saying that for your thesis of, hey, can they push it to 125, 150? They have to change what they do completely, right? They'd have to abandon ship on a lot of their investments that they currently have, both just personally and as far as the company's holdings. And I just don't see them selling off their portfolio to buy Bitcoin. Now, could they help kick off a bull market or kick off the next leg of the bull market? Could they come in and buy $200 billion worth of Bitcoin? Come in and buy $100 billion worth of Bitcoin, set it aside, put it in some fund. Could they have some major announcement where they're going to not even just personally hold Bitcoin, but just say, hey, look, we're going to buy some Bitcoin, set it aside for liquidity and some new product we're offering, right? Or hey, we're gonna backstop our ETF with our own Bitcoin. That way, we don't have to keep going to Coinbase and purchasing OTC every however often. We can just send over our own Bitcoin. So there's lots of different ways that BlackRock could go about it, but I don't know. I think let's simplify things here. We're in October. We're just in that time of the market. Bitcoin is consolidated for way, 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 way too long. We had an early pump and rally, probably prematurely because of the ETF, and prices remain stagnant for quite some time. And now it's time for the breakout. It's more about supply, demand, and the timing of the market post-halving, and more than anything else.
So I was doing some math, okay? So BlackRock holds $11.5 trillion in assets under management, right? Larry Fink has said everyone should have Bitcoin in their portfolio. Let's say 25% of those funds listen to him, right?
But also under management means that probably majority of it doesn't even belong to them. Just like the Bitcoin that they have in their ETF is under management, it doesn't belong to them. So if all of a sudden,
I'm not saying it belongs to them. I'm just saying like they manage. It's under the BlackRock umbrella, on behalf of their investors.
Yeah, but so you got to think like how much capital does BlackRock have that they can personally invest in different sectors? Because assets under management completely can't look at it. That's like looking at.
So I'm not talking about them personally. I'm talking about on behalf of their investors. What their investors who have their money parked at BlackRock, what they do.
So is Bitcoin in their ETF under management?
What do you mean?
The Bitcoin fund, their ETF.
Yes.
The amount of money that is in that
counts as
under management.
Under management.
Could they take that money out of Bitcoin and invest it in gold? No. And so that's what I'm getting at is that even though it's under management, they can't invest it in something else. Now, maybe they have some clients that they manage their portfolios for. Then they can do that. But I don't know. I take that I can't apply that. I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to take a large number of how much money they have under management, but it's not theirs. Now they have a big ass fund,
But it's other people's.
yeah. But
So,
just like if you're accounting for my Bitcoin ETF, that you can't invest that anywhere else. Like
True.
that's where
but
it
you
is.
can.
Yeah, I can sell it.
And
It's under their umbrella. It's under management, but at the same time, they can't control it. They can't do anything.
So if Robin has $100 billion under management at BlackRock,
If I had $100 billion, let me say this: if I had $100 billion and I decided to buy the ETF for Bitcoin,
Correct.
I don't have to have a single piece of communication with BlackRock.
correct.
And they're not. Yes, it's under their management, but I don't have a financial manager there.
True.
I just decided to buy that asset.
Very true. Yes, I agree. But at the end of the day, if you got your money at BlackRock and you're listening to the earnings calls and you're listening to Larry Fink and you're saying, you know what, maybe I should get some exposure to BTC. If you take 25% of those people who decide, you know what, I'm gonna get some exposure. Larry Fink's got a point. I'm going to move some of my money around. I'm going to sell some S&P 500. I'm going to sell some of my real estate commodities, whatever I want to sell. And I want to allocate 3%. You're talking about upwards of $90 billion that could potentially flow into Bitcoin. Now, of course, that's not going to have a direct market impact. You have over-the-counter buying, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of money. And you're talking about the CEO of the largest asset manager in the world that is outwardly promoting Bitcoin to its clients. And if those clients decide to wake up and say, I think he's got a point, I think we can see a big trickle down effect on money flowing in. Speaking of money flowing in, yesterday, $371 million flowed into BTC. And although 2 days ago we shared this, BlackRock was third in inflows, surpassed by Fidelity and surpassed by Bitwise. They were far and away number one yesterday with almost $300 million of inflows from the BlackRock ETF. I don't think we can sit here and say that doesn't have any impact on the way the price of Bitcoin went. But interesting, it seems like Wall Street has seemingly woken up to Bitcoin yet again. We saw the massive run up when an ETF first launched, a little bit of a cool off, sell off, and it's kind of been sideways. Nothing to the point where we have to talk about it on the show. But just this week alone, Robin, we've had over $500 million flow in. Almost $1 billion flow in to the Bitcoin ETF. So interesting to see. And we don't even have retail here yet, right? So why am I saying this? Don't be bearish on BTC. Also, don't be bearish on Solana, XRP, and Avalanche, as Grayscale has filed to convert their digital large cap fund, which contains Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, XRP, and AVAX, into an ETF. You know, in our almanac, we have an entire write-up and a sector on what sector ETFs are going to do for these coins, for the liquidity, for the prices. We have what we think will get approved or filed in 2025. All of that is going to be in the almanac. It's going to be great. But man, this is pretty massive, right? We talk about this on the show all the time.
That ain't gonna get approved.
Probably not. But at the end of the day, it's
There's no way.
there's no way. I agree. At least not with Gary Gensler there. At least not with more clarity.
Like I
from
don't
the
even think
SEC.
the Avalanche wouldn't even get approved right now.
Yeah.
And so I mean,
You think Solana would? I don't think Solana would either.
I think Solana XRP has the best shot.
Well, yeah, we know Bitcoin and ETH already have it.
Yeah,
XRP, I agree.
has
I
the
agree.
best shot, and then Solana probably is second. Interesting that Avalanche is there though.
Well, it's part of their large cap fund.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we got some XRP news today as well. I'm seeing a lot of talk about Kaspa and some of the Kaspa ecosystem coins. We have a Kaspa video dropping in about an hour and a half. I cover all of that in the video, so you're going to want to watch it. And then, Rocco, what's going on, man? What are you guys doing over there? What is this? Italy to raise capital gains tax on Bitcoin from 26 to 42%.
Mamma mia!
It sounds normal. You know, the tax in Italy is already 50% and over. So it was 26 was just
Was pretty good?
Was a gift. 42 is still good.
Do you have Italian relatives sending you Bitcoin
No,
custody
unfortunately,
here in the
Italy.
US.
I mean, I talked with some people at the Bitcoin conference. There is one guy that I met that is from the Bitcoin Italian podcast, and I was asking, well, how does Italy respond to the new technology since the population is kind of old? And he says
That's a good
that
point.
it takes a very long time for these people because everybody has their own saving, still very old banks legacy system. Even the young people, they kind of stay away from the stuff like crypto. Oh my God, what is it? But it's getting better.
You bring up an interesting point because I believe I was doing research for something. I think it was for COVID or something. This is back in 2020. But Italy does have one of the oldest populations in the world.
It is.
And so
And with them, it also is the legacy system of the bank.
Well, like Europe in general just ain't having kids, man. They're,
It's pretty much zero. Yeah, zero. How you call
yeah,
it?
there's a
Third.
replacement rate on Europe countries is people just ain't banging, you know. It's I thought it was the country of love over there in Italy, you know.
It's too expensive.
The
Like you see,
romance
the
country,
taxes.
no?
You see how the taxes is?
Yeah.
Is it?
why don't you, there's a sperm bank so you can go donate. Pretty
It's
cool.
free though. You don't get paid.
That's
for it.
that's not a legacy bank. No, that's one of those new up and coming ones. So
Yeah, tax 42%. It's good.
Yeah.
but you know what? I mean, here we're not far off, right? I think we're at 22% for certain time duration as far as
long-term and short-term
yeah.
capital gains. Yeah.
and then he goes all the way up, I think, to 28% at the highest end for capital gains, and I think
I also think it
that's
depends on your-
under 12 months, and how much money or what's the generated returns. But there's talk of it going up to 40, 45, even 48%.
Yeah.
Under the current administration, and you never know. I mean, we could find ourselves in a situation where even if Trump were to get elected, maybe he all of a sudden, because we believe that he wouldn't mess with capital gains, but maybe never know. Basically, what I'm saying is that there's no certainty, and so that's why we have partnered with I Trust Capital, who kind of lock away your Bitcoin and long-term investments.
Yeah.
Tax-free.
Yeah, that's the thing is, I was watching this documentary from Cold Fusion talking about the US debt and where kind of we're headed. And the easiest solution would be to raise taxes. And so I'm always in the firm camp of our taxes are historically
The
low.
easiest solution is stop spending so much damn money.
I'm saying to get out of the debt. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Production, stop spending money,
Like
but raising
if
taxes.
if I had a brother that was like crazy in debt and just like every 3 weeks he's buying like some new car and like going on a vacation and,
Thanks God.
and
Don't you
getting
already have a brother like
jewelry,
that?
I'd be like, all right, you want to get out of debt? First of all, stop spending so much damn money.
Hey, Dave, imagine his brothers if he spent
like,
the money
well,
like he does.
He's like, my wife's mom really needed a new hot tub, so I sent her. Like, what?
My wife's
Like that's how the U.S. is, bro. I'm telling you. They're like, Israel needs some more tanks. Ukraine needed a new Scud missile, and so it's just.
It went too far.
I mean, that's how it is. What was
I'm
it?
not top. Spending money.
What?
I was singing a song today.
You were singing a song today.
Yeah.
Okay. What were you singing?
It was the T-Pain. Yeah.
Which one?
Where it was and I'll buy you a tank. Ooh. For Ukraine. I don't know why that popped in my head, but I thought it was very fitting. I'll buy you a tank.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where. It was just one of those moments where, you stand in the kitchen, you got your yogurt and granola, and you're just like.
Yeah. It wasn't in the shower with the bird?
Vibing. Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a look at the markets, Rob.
Okay. So we're right at there, man. We're right there. 68,000. We've been hitting this thing.
We hitting that thing.
We are hitting that thing.
68 looking real.
So
juicy.
68. So
Can't help myself.
6 hours ago, we crossed above it, got rejected. Then once again, 3 hours ago, and now here we are again. So will we get over 68 and hold? Hopefully. I think so. I want to know, you in the chat real quick, will we hit 69,000 by the end of the day? Because I do think that if we break above 68, which I do think that is, we're at this pivotal moment right now where we're like, okay, 68,000 is it we're going to cross above it. But if we cross above it, I don't think there's gonna be much stopping it from going to 69,000. I think it's gonna smack right into like 69.8, right before 70,000 because of the big psychological number. But taking a look,
Robin, real
yes.
quick before you move off of Bitcoin. I mean, look at Rocco. You swap in my laptop there. Look at this chart. Look at this channel. Since March of this year, we have not broken above and stayed above it for more than 1 day. Right? If I zoom in here, we broke above it the very next day, came back below. Broke above it, closed at it, and then closed below it. And look at where we are now. We have broken above it, printed a candle, stayed above it, printed another candle, stayed above it. The sentiment is gearing up, and the volume is ticking up as well. Guys, I know I joke.
What is that sentiment? I'm just curious.
Oh, this is our liquidity flow index.
What do you know?
Yeah.
It's ours?
This is a Sin City Crypto exclusive. Yeah. So we created this with Lux Algo. It essentially gives you an idea of, hey, is money flowing in? Is money flowing out? And what is the sentiment? And we did some back testing here. And if you trade the breach of the midline of the sentiment, if it breaches down, you go short. If it breaches up, you go long. It's pretty profitable. The ROI is pretty good. And so we've been above this. So case in point, if you entered into this Bitcoin trade when sentiment broke above the midline, you're looking at Sunday the 13th. This was this red candle, right? This was when Bitcoin closed at 62.8. You'd be up on that trade, and you took profit right now, you'd be up 9%. So I think this indicator is like $15 on Lux Algo. We do have that link in the description of the video. And so, but I joke about it all the time when we bring people like Magic on and Forrest on. Hey, people got PTSD, man. Oh my God, we're running. Nope, we're back down into the channel. I think this is the real deal, man. It lines up with every narrative. It lines up with October. It lines up with 186 days post-halving. It lines up with money flowing in. It lines up with almost everything. The one thing we haven't seen, though, is we have not seen the altcoins start to run.
Oh, my brother.
Right. Plays the altcoins. Ethereum at 20. What are we doing?
My savior. I have no idea.
You're egging me on. That's not good. It's supposed to be the balance here. Okay, all jokes aside, though, we look at the last 24 hours. Look at Solana, $154, down on the 24-hour. You take a look at XRP, flat on the 24-hour, up only 3% on the 7-day. You take a look at something like Toncoin, flat across the board. Cardano, down on the 24-hour. Near Protocol, still under $5. And so the alts haven't ran. And we know the way money flows.
Thank you, Jebediah. Thank you. Appreciate your hot TA take. You've blessed me with your knowledge.
You're welcome here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a little communion pot you can put money in. 10% of your earnings, yeah.
Do I get to eat that nasty ass stale bread?
Stale bread, yeah. I went over this in detail in the Kaspa video, but these levels I have on the Kaspa chart here, these have been levels I've had on here for probably about 2 months. And so we're currently consolidating or trading around this 13-cent region, which is a very key level for Kaspa. But here's something interesting is money has steadily been flowing in, increasing, getting up to 95% of money has been inflows, but price has been trending down. So something is going to give on this Kaspa chart. Again, I go into more detail, but Rob, what are your thoughts on where Kaspa is right now? Currently sitting at 13.24 cents. It's been one of the best performers this entire calendar year, going back to Q4 of last year. What are your thoughts on where Kaspa is? If you have been waiting on the sidelines, are you entering Kaspa now, or do you think there's more downside?
Man, the Kaspa chart, if you go back, if you look on the 1 year on, let me take a look. If you look at the 1 year, we've ran up. Here, I'll just show you here on this one. So I was going to pull up the trading view, but either way, a little difficulties there. But here you go. So back in November 2023, got up to 14 cents. We had this big rally, right? But then how long did it take for us to put in a new high on Kaspa, right? And so we went November, December, January. It wasn't until February. And so we had sold down from 14 cents down to 9. And it looked like, well, maybe that rally's over. But no, it wasn't. We got up to 18 cents. And so 3 months is what it took for us to put in a new high. So here we go. Once again, February. It wasn't until June that we went up once again to 18 cents, which was about 4 months. So 3 months, 4 months. And then here we go again, where we hit 20 cents. And then how long has it been since we were at 20 cents? Well, it's been 3 months. And so will it be another month of Caspa?
What are you trying to say? Should I buy it or not?
What I'm trying to say is that on the year chart here, over the course of the last 12 months, we're seeing a very, very simple pattern here. Break all-time high,
Retrade.
consolidate, 3 months, maybe 4, and then breakout. We saw it again. 3 months, almost 4, breakout. And now, hey, look, last all-time high 3 months ago. Very simple. Just saying. There you go. So that's what I got.
The answer is yes.
Yeah, it's a good time to buy, man. 13 cents. And so these moves have come parabolic, right? When we go and break all-time highs, it's over the course of a week, maybe 2 or 3 at most. And so, we go for 13 cents to 20 cents, maybe by the end of October. I mean, I think that's where I'm kind of getting at, is that if Bitcoin is over that 70K over by the end of the weekend, I'm telling you, it's takeoff for Caspa, bro. It's takeoff for Caspa, and it's a very quick ride to 20 cents.
Interesting. When Rob walked into the studio today, he's like, "Hey, Dave, come here." I'm like, what? He's like, "You want to see what 10K looks like?"
$10,000 worth of video equipment.
Yeah.
The day.
Yes. Well, in honor of trying to make some of that money back, Rob, we might find a coin for us. I think is a little undervalued. No one's really talking about it, but here we go. Wall Street now focuses on tokenization as BlackRock leads the $10 trillion initiative. Keep hearing BlackRock. A McKinsey study projects the tokenization market could reach $2 trillion by 2030. I think that's extremely low, with some estimates suggesting it may hit $16 trillion. So a pretty big gap. But the important thing is here, as existing assets are integrated, we know the capital markets in the U.S. are massive. The liquidity is massive. We're talking tens of trillions of dollars. And so how much of that will be tokenized? BlackRock believes potentially $16 trillion. Leading the charge is BlackRock, which aims to tokenize $10 trillion in assets. So I take a look here. I'm like, okay, RWA.XYZ. This breaks it down into stable coins, U.S. treasuries, global bonds, private credit, commodities, yada, yada, yada. You can see which are the sectors, which are the funds. And I'm looking here. I'm like, okay, we all talk about ETH and RWA. But I'm looking here, which is the second largest network, Robin, for RWA assets? Stellar Lumens. Stellar Lumens at 9.5 cents.
Also, I was very surprised to see they have a big part in bonds as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know that falls under the RWAs, but I know, like, when you're saying, oh, you're surprised to see that. And I remember I was surprised a couple months ago when we were looking at was it T-bills and bonds and how much of it has been tokenized or how much of it is in, off the back of blockchain. And lo and behold, Stellar Lumens was there.
I mean, again.
And repeatedly.
Yeah. And so I'm looking at XLM, looking at the month chart. Still down from its cycle high. You look at the year chart, down. It did hit around 16 cents, currently at 9 cents. We take a look at the XLM chart. Couple of things that are flashing here. One, we've seen a lot of liquidation candles to the upside, which is good.
Only thing about them, and I'll talk through your chart here. Only thing about them is that, their February high was 15 cents. And so being that they're at 9 cents right now, I just look at a lot of other projects are down a full 2x from their previous February high, if not more. And so
But
you
looking
think it'll eclipse the previous February high?
But here's the thing. It only getting to 15 cents tells me that it hasn't really had its run yet, right?
That's kind of where I'm getting at.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
kinda where I'm
yeah,
getting at.
yeah.
Like you have to have the conviction because like I feel confident that Cardano is going to get back up to 70 cents, right? And so from where it's at now, that's a solid 2x. And so there's a lot of projects I feel confident will go back to the February highs. And so are you confident enough that Stellar Lumens will not only get back to its February highs, but eclipse it and run past it?
I do.
Okay.
And from a technical standpoint, if you want to throw that chart up there again, Rocco, this is XLM on the 1 day from Binance. We're knocking on the door of the symmetrical triangle. Now, this triangle here with one deviation outside of it, where it broke above it and then came right back into the pattern, testing the downside trend line here. We are currently there at that 9.45 cent level. What we typically want to see is a bump and run, a break above retest of this trend line as support. Something we wanted to see and we almost saw here back in September, but ultimately failed and fell through this channel. But, remember I talked about this right here? This liquidity flow, the sentiment. If you traded the break above the midline, you would have made 10%. Well, look at where Stellar Lumens is right now. And I'll make this bigger. Look at where Stellar Lumens is right now. It just broke above the midline on the sentiment. Just broke above the midline. It is knocking on the door, breaking out of this upside or this symmetrical triangle. We know they have a big stake in the RWA narrative. I think this might be a play here. You know, we talked about Aptos at $7.50. That's over $10. That turned out right. I think XLM could. I'm not saying it'll 2x. I think 20, 30% gains. A big run up here for XLM. Throw a little leverage on
Let
it.
me ask you. XRP, XLM, they get lumped together for just cause, right? You know, you had one of the founders split off. Anyway, same kind of vision or roadmap or ideology. You think which one do you think is going to outperform? Because
Price-wise?
because before you say XRP their price has been held back because of the court case. Court case is over. So, you know, in theory, you would say, hey, the price has been suppressed for so long. When the altcoins break out, because the court case settled post-February, right? February is when all the altcoins broke out.
Right.
And XRP didn't, right? Still in limbo with the court case. The court case is over. It's not even a security now, the XRP token. It's free to invest in as far as a corporation or a central bank without the scrutiny of the SEC, right? And so do you think which one is going to outperform, right? Because price suppressed on XRP, but Stellar Lumens further down the market cap list, more room to run, also has a big play in RWAs and particularly bonds.
That's a tough question, dude. That's a really tough question. If I had to pick one, I'd probably go with XRP because of their stable coin.
Rocco, did you hear that?
No, that's not, it's a dream. I don't think that I'm dreaming.
Where's David and
No,
who is this co-host next to me?
it's no Dave. It's probably an aliens. It's a fake. It's a mask. Take the mask off. There you go. The reptilians.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with you that the price has been suppressed. And the stable coin and, you know how Forrest kind of broke it down with how it's going to leverage the XRP ledger and the XRP ledger using. But I'm also looking forward to 2027. That is when that 1 billion XRP tokens a month that gets unlocked from the escrow, that is when that ends. And I think that's going to be...
I'd also caution you to think that simply because of the unlocks, if we're in a very bullish scenario where
Correct.
where XRP is breaking over $1, over $1.50,
It's not gonna matter.
over $2, I think that they're not going to want to suppress that, right?
But I think
They're not going to want to shoot themselves in the foot. Now, I do think that they're going to sell. There's going to be sell pressures. There are unlocks. There are a lot of tokens, or a lot of
I mean, look at
XRP
Sui.
coins that Ripple is sitting on.
I think Sui's a great example.
Yeah, it's like Sui could dump right now, but they know, like, hey, we got momentum. We're not. Let's not do that to the price at the moment. We're getting a lot of attention. Developers are coming and building. You know, we're getting a lot of headlines, and so for that reason, I think it would be foolish for people that, you know, the founders of Sui to dump on their own on the market right now, especially going into the environment where altcoins are supposed to rally. And that's kind of how I feel about XRP. I'll actually take the latter. I think Stellar Lumens probably
Really?
would outperform XRP, and just because partnerships take a long time with banks, central banks, and institutions, and I think that XLM has momentum right now and has these deals. So as RWAs, you know, accelerate, and as we see perhaps a new president come in and get behind blockchain technology and the movement of money, I think that the people that already have the partnerships already in place and already have the framework there with the big banks, I don't know. I don't know.
Here-
I'm a big fan of both. I wouldn't be surprised though.
Here's the other thing too. Like if you zoom out on the weekly on XLM, these bands are starting to get tight on the Bollinger Bands, and you know, when you see this constriction of these Bollinger Bands, you typically see a big move. Now, the last time this happened, we saw a big move to the upside. Also back here, this was back in June of last year, we saw the Bollinger Band start to tighten up, and then this thing shot up from around 7.9 cents, wicked all the way up to 20 cents. And so XLM's in a consolidation phase. And again, this symmetrical triangle here holds on the 1 week as well. So XLM is something just keep your eye on. I'm not saying go all in on XLM, but keep your eye on it. Don't fade it. You know, the idea of you know, kind of bringing narratives that not a lot of people are talking about. That's the whole idea of watching and learning and understanding things, is you want to get out ahead, not by the top.
And then a little shout out to the chat here. If you're new, say something. Maybe hola.
Something.
If you're not new, say hola. Say something. Just be active. But some new people we spotted out. We got Rich, Bammy, Boo, Z, JJM, Best RuneScape, Renum, Jimmy Rapp, Joe Ho, Rich, Mike Larry, Crypto Naughty, and Philippine something. Hola! Welcome to Sin City.
Philippine something. Was that his actual name, or you couldn't pronounce the last part of it?
Nah, it's like dating. So, and he's kind
Philippine dating?
and then there's also
Have you ever dated a Filipino?
No.
Me neither.
I did
I love Filipino.
I did meet up with one from a dating website. It's an interesting story. I don't want to get into it.
Okay. For another day?
Yeah,
let's
it
save
involved a trip to San
Let's save it for
Diego
another day.
and like running out of a house.
You're that guy, huh?
And then I left.
Meet someone on Tinder, then drive down
and
to
I
San
left-
Diego?
I left the keys in her house, and her dad was looking for me. And
Oh, you've told me the story.
did I tell you that
You
story?
told me the
Oh,
story,
yeah,
yeah.
that was a good one.
Food is delicious. The lumpia? Delicious. Anyways,
Unos
I
Italian now.
want to talk a little bit about Ada Cardano. So this is an article from ZY Crypto. Ada price explosion closer than ever as Charles Hoskinson reveals next major Cardano update. What is he talking about? Well, he's talking about the new Ouroboros Peros protocol. Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson has disclosed the network's next development path after the release of the Ouroboros protocol. To improve overall performance, new changes will be made to the validation zones. Cardano ecosystem could undergo another major update, leading to better overall performance. The move to update validator zones will solve long-standing issues and introduce Babel fees on the network. It's meant to make finality faster, and the Ouroboros, the new version of it, is useful for partner chains, which is something that Cardano is really focusing on. So you look at a project like Ada, currently sitting at 35.49 cents. And I know the people that got in just to make money, Robin, are sitting here saying, well, when is this thing going to move? I know the true Cardano fans, the ones that believe in the vision, believe in the roadmap, believe in it long term, they don't necessarily care about the price in the short term as much. But maybe someone who got in and their friend told them, hey, Cardano's doing some cool things, they're looking at the price. Realistically, right? I know
It's every major alt is waiting on Bitcoin. If you're a fan of Cardano, ICP,
Sui didn't wait
Kaspa,
for Sui didn't wait for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Kaspa didn't wait for Bitcoin.
Mm,
They kind of did.
yeah, kind of. But outside of a couple exceptions, there's always exceptions. There's always exceptions to the rule, right? There's always exceptions, but doesn't exceptions to the mean doesn't break the rule. But so we're waiting for Bitcoin, right? And so let's see what happens, man. Let's see if we get over 70,000. I think. Don't you agree 70,000 is the number?
Well, yeah, I mean, you need to take out the
Yeah, but don't you think that is
from a psychological standpoint, like a big psychological number?
Okay, here's the thing. If we get to 70,000 and we go to 71,000, we're not pulling back down to 62, right?
I mean, anything can happen.
Anything, but we're
Probably not.
Realistically, it's probably not going to happen.
Probably not.
So that's kind of where I'm at. So let's get over that 70,000, and then from there, I think it's off to the races, and altcoins will crush it. Altcoins will crush it once Bitcoin gets above 70,000. So
Speaking of altcoins, that'll crush it. So we can expect to see some movement from the altcoins. Again, I mentioned a lot of these alts have been flat. We take a look at the last 24 hours. Biggest gainer, what the fuck? FTT token. My God, can this thing just die and go away? Helium up 6%. Bonk up 6%. Memes are doing pretty good. Doge is up. Bitcoin SV, when is that going away? No idea. But some other memes that are down, Popcat is down 10%. Mew is down 10%. Phantom has 73.5 cents. You know, this one was pretty interesting. We kind of talked about this breakout when it was around 45, 50 cents. We know they're making that move to Sonic. They're doing a lot of engagement from the community, a lot of giveaways. They're doing like an arcade. So pretty cool things happening with Phantom/Sonic. But you take a look at like Aptos, Arweave under $20. Is there one of these altcoins, Robin, that once that Bitcoin dominance starts to trend down again, because we're currently sitting at 57.7%, so pretty big. Once that Bitcoin dominance starts to come back down to those low 50s, the alts are going to run. Is there a sector you have your eye on going into November, or a specific altcoin you have in mind going into November that you think once the Bitcoin dominance starts to shrink, these altcoins will run? Or this altcoin?
I think it starts with ETH, right?
You think
it starts with ETH? I think ETH's price has been suppressed.
Historically, you start with ETH, but I don't know.
Well, I think with the ETF, I think that what sends
ETF flows have been paltry.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Once the Bitcoin price breaks new all-time highs, right? Once we're at that $75,000 Bitcoin, $80,000 Bitcoin, I think that Wall Street's going to say, hey, we're making money here, right? Whether or not I got exposure early, or they just see that Bitcoin is on the way to that 100,000, people are going to just say, hey, I want a little bit more risk, a little bit more return. Here's a comparable product, an Ethereum ETF that,
let me ask you this question,
has been at discount for quite some time. It's a discount. You agree?
ETH is at discount.
ETH is at discount, right?
ETH is at discount.
Is Bitcoin at 82,000 at discount?
Yes. Long term, yes.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about
okay.
like from a Wall Street perspective.
No,
if you're looking at the price of
if
Bitcoin,
you're entered at 60, 80K is not a discount.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. And so what I do think is a massive premium, or excuse me, a massive discount is Ethereum. And so I think that savvy investors on Wall Street are gonna take a look and say, hey, you know what? Now's the time. Let me get Ethereum, because it's probably going to perform comparable in some way to Bitcoin, at least with their price, price movement. So more upside there, man. So I would start with Ethereum and then work my way down to my favorite alts. So for me, Cardano, I keep talking about it, man. Like, I think Cardano is just going to absolutely crush it. So,
okay. Yeah, I'm just like overly bullish on meme coins. They keep running, dude. I mean, it's like, don't fight the trend, right? But yeah, I mean, if you have the chance to pick up solid projects like Kaspa, like Cardano, like ICP, like Avalanche under $27.69, guys, do not sleep on AVAX. I am telling you, Avalanche is going to be massive. It'll be absolutely massive at sub $30 with a market cap. What's the market cap? $11 billion. This is a $150 billion project right here. You get a 15x out of AVAX. Super bullish on AVAX. But again, you got to have a strategy. Some you want to accumulate the good projects when the prices are down. Some you want to get in and kind of catch the wave up. I think meme coins are the catch the wave up. I think sector-driven narratives are catch the way up. I think sectors you believe in long-term that you can take a look under the hood and say, they're building this, this, and this to solve this, this, and this in 5 years, in 10 years, in 2 years. Those are the ones you want to DCA in, buy those dips. And I think the three I listed, Cardano, Avalanche, and I think I said, what did I say, Solana or Caspa? Cardano, Avalanche, Caspa, ICP, those ones. Throw it in the long-term hold portfolio. They're building things that are going to be used in the future. Cardano going down to Argentina, ICP with the AI, Caspa with everything they're freaking doing. Proof of work, the fastest proof of work chain, getting ready to go to 10 blocks per second. Guys, understand, 10 blocks per second. Bitcoin does one every 10 minutes. And so a lot of things to be bullish about in this altcoin market. And so too much to talk about in one show, which is why you should come back tomorrow. Also, if you're a Caspa fan, watch our Caspa video that drops in about 1 hour. I highlighted two meme coins I believe will be the front runners for the Caspa ecosystem. Potentially $1 billion meme.
And last go round, we're gonna give a shout out to George with a J, Rec, Agan,
Maybe that's
Mike
Jorge.
Owen, and then Rasa Lexo, and maybe it is Jorge. You know, whatever.
Hola, 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 adios, Rocco. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe, ping the notification bell. We do more content on YouTube. Also follow us on Twitter at SinCityCrypto1. We love you guys. Until tomorrow. We got Frankie Candles coming tomorrow. It's been a while. We got Frankie Candles coming tomorrow. Don't miss the show. We love you. Peace.
Entertainment and info, gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I split the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us meme coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.